In Buddhism, conditionality is the core of the teachings. Because this is, that is. Because this arises, that arises. When this is not, that is not. When this ceases, that ceases. So that's the basic teachings. So, for example, when there is craving for next life, when there is craving for existence, for sensual pleasures, or even for non-existence, when there is consciousness arising and passing, and when there are actions which you committed in the past, then this is the condition. These three are the condition which make the birth in a womb of the next life. So when these three are complete, when craving, when past committed actions and consciousness, when they are there, then this is sufficient condition to make a new birth. So at the time of death, the mind liberates itself from the body for a single moment. It's called the rebirth consciousness. After this single moment, a split-second moment, a new mind which follows, a new moment of consciousness which follows after this rebirth consciousness appears in the womb of another mother, or in the moisture, in the egg, or in any other way a human being can be born. Based on the ignorance of not-self, based on the craving, there arises the consciousness in the new womb, and with the consciousness there arises body and mind. So the body and mind connection starts to be complete in the womb. And with the arising of body and mind in the womb of the new mother, there start to arise the six senses. That means seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. When the six senses are there, there will be objects, and with those objects there arises contact. And it's this sixfold consciousness and the contact which we would usually call as ourselves. But these are all just result of the craving which caused this life. And then the consciousness which arises based on these six senses is the condition for our memory. It's the condition for our wants, desires, for our dislikes, for our ideas and perceptions. It's the cause for our pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings. Everything that you think is you is entirely dependent on these six senses. If these six senses weren't here, then there would be nothing you would ever call as you. But the Buddha explained how to see this practically, right here and now. So as you see with your eyes, you can notice that every moment is new. If every moment wasn't new, if you were stuck at a one moment, then you would not be able to see another moment. You always see something new. Even though you would look at the same place and there would be nothing changing, you are actually seeing it again and again and again. You are refreshing again and again and again, so that if there is change in the light or change in that form or change, something comes into that your field of vision, you will immediately notice it. Why do you notice it? Because you immediately, again and again and again, continuously, you refresh. But what you saw before, you don't see anymore, because now you see that what is new. So everything what you have seen is gone. Everything what you have heard is gone. Everything what you have smelled, tasted, touched, everything what you have ever thought about is gone. whatever happens in your mind is new. So with this perception that everything that happens in our mind is new, there is no way how we could search for the past, because the past is gone. And many people are happy that the past is gone, because if the past is not gone, you cannot get anything new. You cannot have the past and new at the same time. You will always see new and new and new. And in order to make this really natural, you need to see everything new 24 times per second, at least. So we are refreshing every moment, every moment. And as we are refreshing every moment, the past is gone. As for memory and skills, all that is again an effect of a condition. So for example, if you want to pass an exam, you don't go to the exam without learning, because you know that if you do not have the condition of learning, then you will not have the effect of remembering. It's all conditioned. And moreover, even if you have that condition, fantastic, you really learn, you memorize the text perfectly. After several years, if you don't repeat, you forget it anyway. Whenever we think of something in the past, whenever we recreate, it is again anew. It is a new experience, which is an effect of the past. So for actions, for the consequence of our actions, the scriptures give the metaphor of burning leaves. I don't know whether you have seen it somewhere, but they burn leaves a lot in Asia. And when you have a heap of leaves and you burn it, you can burn it from one side. You do not have to burn from up. And when you ignite it, when it ignites at the side, after a short while, it seems as if there is no more fire, that it extinguished. But you come back after 2 hours, and it's all dust. The fire is there beyond the leaves. The fire is there hidden beyond the leaves, and it just continues to burn. And then after some time, all of the leaves are burnt. In the same way, if we commit an unskillful action, such as killing, stealing, adultery, telling lies, or drinking alcohol, that will bring consequence, either immediately after that action, or later in this life, or in one of the next lives, or all of the three. So, although you may not be able to see the consequence of your previous action, it is still there. But it's not hidden in the material sense. It's not hidden in the existential sense as well. It's just a cause and effect. So there is an immediate effect and there is an intermediate effect. Immediate effect is when you do something and it immediately brings a consequence. Intermediate effect means that you do something, there is something in between, and then later you experience the effect. So that's how the Buddha explains that everything what we are just effects of the causes. But we also need to distinguish the two spheres, the two levels of reality, the conditional, the conventional, and the ultimate. The conventional level of reality is when I am, you are, I talk, you talk, I have eyes, ears, nose, I am a monk, you are a lady, and so on. So all this is a conventional reality when we are applying labels. We are applying labels to the reality so we can distinguish things more easily and communicate and live happily. But then there is the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and not self. That's where the body doesn't exist. There is just the solidity, cohesion, temperature, and movement. There is also space and consciousness. That's all what's there. Just these 6 elements. And these 6 elements together are in different proportions, and as they are in different proportions, they seem to cause different objects and different experiences, but they are just the 6 elements. And when you can observe the ultimate reality as the 6 elements, then it is possible to get freed from this idea of self and therefore live more peacefully, live in equanimity, because you understand that nothing is yours. It is your conclusion that something is yours, and that's right conclusion, but in the ultimate sense it's not. So for a thief, what's yours is actually his. And as you continue your life, your possessions grow old, even money grow old, currency grows old, and even everything what we have grows old. Especially today when things get out of fashion within a year or 2 or even faster. So we understand this conditionality of these 6 elements and detach from the world. And when you can detach from the world, you can accept the impermanence of things with cooler head and thus live more happily and peacefully.